Hello friends, my name is Emile and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic. This time taking a look at the 2000 Spoon Sports Civic Type R. This car was requested by Inferno the Fox, and well, it's an awesome car. There's more on that later. For now though, statistically not the highest of vehicles. Front wheel drive of course, as you'd expect from a Civic, 250 horsepower, 754 kilograms of weight and not a whole lot of torque. But that is not this car's party piece power. That being said though, it is a very light car. Compared to the other Civic that we've had around, it is a bit down statistically. I think that Civic was running around 300 horsepower thanks to turbos and so on, and it was actually a little bit lighter as well. But nevertheless, I'm hoping to get a good performance out of this Spoon, and now we are about to see this car's party piece. I'm sure many of you probably know about this one. Look at the rev gauge. That's right, that is, this car actually does have the NA tune on it, so normally this car revs to only 11,000, but thanks to the improved NA tune, it does bump this car up to 12,500 RPM redline, which is incredible, quite frankly. And okay, we have interesting handling, apparently. That being said, still very quick opening lap time at 32.429. Ooh, okay. Right. Alright, let's try and get around here. Of course, I'm hoping for a good time from this car because, well, as many of you know, I am a huge EK Civic fanboy. I love these cars. I don't like them modified. I like them stock usually, but the Spoon one is an exception to that rule because any car with 12,500 RPM redline is a car that I'm interested in. Yeah, it's a phenomenal machine this, and I love a Civic Type R in real life, and that maybe is the dream, but as you may notice, this car has interestings. So I'm not sure why it does this, but you can sort of see it there in the ghost car. This car actually buddy hops. Don't know why it does. The suspension, maybe it's too low, maybe it's too firm. There's something horribly wrong with the suspension setup on this car though. Admittedly, of course I do not change the suspension. I don't, tune these cars in any way. I modify them up, but I don't. Ooh, God. Alright, that's an interesting way to take that corner, apparently. Yeah, I obviously do not modify these vehicles, but... Oh, I modify them, but I don't tune them. There we go, we'll get the correct sentence now. And I believe this is running the race suspension, but for whatever reason, apparently the default setup on this car is just hilariously rock hard, and that means it mounts this. I'm hoping, as much as it is unfortunate that the Spoon Civic is the one that suffers with this, I'm hoping this is not a trend of all EK Civics, because I want all of them to do very well. And this car's probably still going to do well. Admittedly, that other Civic got into the 31s. I'm not quite sure if the Spoon is going to be able to quite do that at 32.312. Still pretty good average lap time, but especially from a car with 250 horsepower, that is pretty incredible. But yeah, the weird suspension bouncing really does upset this car quite a lot. I hope Inferno was requesting this car because of its silly red line, not the fact that he knows that it does this strange suspension issues. But yeah, a bit of an unfortunate thing there, but nevertheless, still a decent enough time from the Civic, a 32.312. Of course, that other Civic was like a 31.1 or something, so it is a second and so down on that other Civic, but yeah, given the circumstances, it still is not too bad. And, this thing doesn't really have a whole lot of power or anything either, so that does also factor in. Lap time wise, it could go quicker without the silly bouncy stuff, obviously. And obviously, even on this setup, by the looks of it, it could go quicker. I think you could get into the 32s, like lower into the 32s. I don't quite think it would break 31, but there you go. Anyways, it's time to see where it places on our leaderboard. Onto the leaderboard then, and the Spoon Civic Type R goes into 25th place with a 32.312, lodging itself in between the Honda Accord Sedan and Nissan 200 SX, which is a pretty decent result considering the awful suspension bouncing this car had. I still cannot explain why that car just has horrible suspension, but there you go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Hot Lap Classic. If you have cars you would like to request for this series, you can do so in the comment section and go into the description for a full request list form. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a farewell.